Welcome to another episode of Husbands Watching Housewives. I'm Scott.
And I'm Jeff.
And we just watched an episode of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
Yep.
And yeah, it was a pretty decent episode.
What are we calling this, Velcro wallet?
I think Velcro wallet, yeah, because, I mean, nothing's tackier than what Sutton said, other than maybe a Velcro wallet.
I had a Velcro wallet back in the day.
Yeah, I did.
I think we all did, yeah.
Every boy did,
yeah,
for sure. I'm
for sure.
certain of it.
Yeah.
I
think mine was like red and black, I think.
I think mine was orange and may have been a hypercolor wallet.
Oh, okay.
To be honest, which is a stupid thing because if you put it in your pocket, it's always going to change colors.
Oh, okay,
but,
right. I never had any hypercolor stuff, I don't think.
I didn't have much. I had like a shirt and I think that wallet.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, the problem was that the hypercolor shirts always changed from one horrible color to another horrible color.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't look good in any, usually orange and yellow, I don't look good.
I don't wear any orange or yellow, yeah. I think if I had to choose between the two, I might go for like a buttery yellow.
Buttery yellow, huh?
Like a polo, I think.
I find with your work shirt that I wear, that orange long-sleeved one, I think that's good. But it does, I mean, that shirt is all supposed to look like it's a road construction shirt of some sort, so it fits the bill. But
you just need like the yellow vest to go over it.
Yeah, I feel like that shade of orange is good. But yeah, orange and yellow are tough ones to pull off.
Yeah, yeah.
For many people.
A caftan is a tough thing to pull off.
Well, not really. I mean, well, how is it? I mean, that's just like a Mrs. Roper.
Yeah, but not everyone looks flattering in it. Like, I think it suits someone like Jennifer Tilly, but like I think Erica is just kind of like, I'm just swimming in this fabric.
Yeah,
this pink fabric. So,
yeah. What was I going to say about the caftan? And it doesn't matter. I like the idea of a caftan, just basically wearing a robe.
We should say it's just a Mrs. Roper party.
Yeah, it really is. They should have just all worn red wigs. They would have been fine. It was really kind of dumb that Dorit did not read the invitation.
I mean, she's got a lot going on, and she just didn't have time, and just like...
Like, I want to see this invitation and see how buried in it was. Like, be sure to wear a caftan,
I'm going to need a screenshot of it. It probably was just like a text to like all of her girlfriends. I was surprised there were other people there besides the housewives. Mm-hmm. So I was like, why did she go through all this trouble for like a lunch? And I'm like, oh, there are other people. They're like civilians.
I wonder if her other friends were just like, come on, Jen, let's invite us. We want to see this mess in progress.
Well, but it's funny because like, some of them had to like wait outside because she was like, thank you for your patience, because they had to like shoot in there, and then they went to the lounge, and it's like there's also really, it's like a limited space. It looked very like, again, I hate a claustrophobic like setting. I was like, there's too many people in caftans. It looks very hot right now. Heavy caftans. Are you sweating? I don't like it.
I don't know what makes you think they're heavy. I mean, Jennifer's looked very
heavy.
It's
just a lot of
because it had like the medallions and stuff.
So much jewelry.
But I always think of it being kind of like silk or polyester and just like basically,
But still, it's not like a fabric that's... I know people think like, oh, because it's like, it's like... Flowy. But I feel like it's just like on you and your arms just stick out and you're just like covered in a sea of fabric.
Yeah,
so,
I don't know. I'd go for a caftan. Again,
I think Dorit probably like was the most air-conditioned of them all.
Well, she was dressed for comfort and fashion.
Yes, Dior.
What happened before the caviar?
Yes, we were talking about that.
That was a lot of recapping of what happened at Dorit's 4th of July party, basically.
There's that. Well, it started with not Kyle in her therapy session, but let's start with Kyle in her therapy session.
Yeah.
My main takeaway from that was that her thinking that she wants to move on. She wants to know what's going to happen with her and Mauricio, but then there's a thought that what if she does move on, and then he's like, wait, I made a mistake, and she's like, crap, I moved on.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's easy for me to say that, like, being not involved with it whatsoever, but I don't know, he doesn't seem to be holding even before this,
holding space.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to be like holding any space for her to be like for reconciliation, and he's out doing his thing. I think also I don't know, I think if Kyle were to say that, like, I'm afraid that if I go through the efforts of sowing my wild oats, what if I find feelings for someone else and then like I find myself unable to go back, like that sort of thing. But what I'm saying, it's easy for me to say is that if he wanted to, he would.
Yeah,
I think the mere fact that he's like out there living his own life, doing his own thing, and is starting this separation is indicating that he doesn't want to be with her anymore. So I think he's ready for something new, and I think she should go ahead and embrace that as well. What I also, reading between the lines, especially with how the therapist / life coach, I want my therapist, and if I ever have a life coach, I want them to be separate people.
It can overlap. You know, who would know best about this would be Ashley.
Yeah, I think she would. That's true.
She could educate us. She could come on the show and let us know.
That's true.
Yeah.
But this was the first time I ever heard anything with the way the therapist was talking that kind of suggested Mauricio was responding to something. I don't remember the exact words or what exactly they said, but he said something that kind of tricked in my head that, like, Kyle started this. That, like, something Kyle did kind of set events in motion that led to the separation. They didn't...
Well, I think because she was reacting to... Like she was saying, he thought that she would just get over it and wasn't really fighting for the relationship.
That's what it was.
Yes.
It was.
She was hurt that he... I think it goes back to, like... I think she said that to her friend passing away, and he wasn't necessarily there for her in the way that she thought he should be.
I didn't get any Doreen in this whole thing. Like, I didn't.
Well, she talked about that last year, though.
I know, but this time around, she didn't mention her, and the way she kept talking, like, he didn't fight for me. Like, in my head, I was thinking, like, was he supposed to be like, no, even though you made a mistake, like I don't know, like it read.
I don't think it's Kyle that made a mistake.
It read to me that, like, she wanted him to think she's so worth it, even though she screwed something up.
I don't think, and this is not just me like blindly supporting Kyle because I'm not that person.
No, I know what that looks like. I know exactly what that looks like.
I would say it straight up in the beginning. No, I don't think that she messed up. I don't think, and she said that there wasn't any infidelity on his part. I think whatever it was, whether it was her best friend dying or whatever, they were growing apart, and she didn't think that he was fighting for her, and then so she started pulling away from him, and it just never got better, and she thought that he would make it better, and it didn't, and they decided mutually or whatever to do the separation. So I think she triggered an emotion like, this isn't working, I'm pulling away, and I think maybe that's what the therapist was saying she's responding to, because she's made it very, very clear, and she got pissed at Sutton for insinuating that there's any sort of infidelity.
Is Kyle gonna be pissed at me for suggesting it?
She is. You're gonna get a cease and desist.
I'm gonna get a strongly worded letter.
Assist and desist.
Or cease and desist.
No. Tamara called it.
Oh, assist and deceased.
Yeah, years ago. That's
okay.
Yeah.
Weird.
So no, my thinking was. Crap, and I forgot it because you kept talking.
Mission accomplished.
They've been together and married for most of their lives, so it does make sense that he is like, okay, we're apart, I'm gonna go be single, and I have all this money now that we didn't have when we were coming up when we were younger, and now I can do whatever I want and go to Mallorca or wherever the hell that is, and
Spain, I think.
Okay, makes sense, and live my life and kiss girls in airports and whatever. And she's like, wait, what are you doing? That's not, what we do. And so she's more like, I'm a mom, I'm a homebody. And he's just like, no, I'm going to go wild now. So I think they both deeply love each other, but I do think you're right that he isn't holding space for them getting back together. And I think really, aside from the deep love, they're very intertwined financially. And so it doesn't make sense right now. It would be a huge headache to separate that in a divorce. I think that's why that he hasn't pulled the plug. Not that he's going to be like, wait, I want to come back. Not that that couldn't happen. Again, deep love. But I think it's I like things the way they are because otherwise I'm going to have to give you half the agency.
I don't know. To me, it just strikes me as Kyle, she's holding out for a what if.
Yeah.
And to me, it's the sort of thing where if, I don't know, I'm definitely not 100% this way, but if suddenly you were like, Scott, I want to get this isn't working out, we should get separated, give it a try, see how we feel about it. I'd be like, yeah, all right, we'll see how we feel about it.
No,
and I'd go off and do my thing,
Yeah.
I would, I wouldn't sit around waiting for you to change your mind.
No.
Unless I was extremely guilty about something. That's the only reason, like, I'm applying any of that, is that if I had done something wrong and I was waiting for you to forgive me, like, that's the sort of thing that makes me think that maybe Kyle is involved in something, in some wrongdoing in the relationship that they're not necessarily highlighting, or, and maybe it's irrelevant at the end of the day because trust is trust, and etc. They're, they have their bond has been broken. So not pointing fingers at anyone, but that's the only reason why I think that there's some, like...
I see that's a very good point. If she hadn't said, though, that, like, he broke the trust, and everyone just assumed it was infidelity, but she's claimed that's not the case. So I think, she maybe regrets and has guilt about not blowing up, but, like, separating their family and changing things, and she, I think, in the back of her mind, like, wants things to go back the way they were, but also is enjoying some of this independence. I could see being very conflicted, but yes, personally, I couldn't imagine, like, waiting around for a what if, because then what if never comes, and then you're happy with somebody else, and you're like, well, crap. And not that there's, like, a time clock on when you could go on and be happy, because she could go on and be happy 2-3 years from now. She doesn't have to do it, like, in 2025.
Right. But then you think about all that time you wasted, kind of, like, it was one of my things that I really, really disliked about, ending my former relationships, was, like, all the mopey, I was sad times. And it's just like, a relationship deserves to be mourned. But at the same time, like, I wasted a lot of time crying about it.
Do you think in that relationship you were sad more than you were happy?
No.
Okay.
No. I mean, those,
there's some great years there, but like you're saying at the end.
Well, towards the end, I was.
By the end, do you mean like the last 2 years, last year?
Last year, probably.
Last year, okay.
No, but I'm just saying, though, that even after we were broken up, like, I was still being sad and still, like, kind of wishing things hadn't gone the way that they went. And then by the time you get through that, you're just like, man, I wasted a lot of time wishing for something that wasn't going to happen.
Right.
Like, I was wishing that things could have been different. And so that's all I'm saying with Kyle's situation, is it, like, go out and find yourself sooner than later, because I think, you're going to sit here holding out and crossing your fingers that Mo's going to come back to you, and then you see him, and then how do you feel when you see him kissing a girl in the airport, and all your friends are on TV saying that he, staged the whole thing? Yeah. Which is dumb as shit.
Let's flash forward to that. Like, why? Like, no, Mauricio isn't a petty housewife. He didn't arrange for paparazzi to catch him kissing this chick so he could get back at Kyle because she was, like,
at a concert, at one of Morgan's concerts.
Yeah, I was going to say, is it inflagrante?
You're just trying to quote Clue, aren't you? Inflagrante delicto.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, yeah.
With Morgan, I don't think that was the case.
No.
I think, he already was caught, like, not kissing, but he was, like, being very close with his Dancing with the Stars partner. So Sutton, I get, like, you had a bad divorce, but stop trying to, like, put that on everybody else.
Sutton is off the mark on so much this episode.
This is my theory. Shady. It's like, no, we're gonna get to all her.
Yeah. But
no, I
the only good thing Sutton said this episode was "Dorit," which we both agree someone told her to say that. Avi probably called her that
there were
once.
Some notes, and she's like, "I said it, Dorit," and, like, she tried to, like, you're not. Honey, you're not a shade assassin.
Yeah.
You are not Kenya Moore. You can't, like, be like, ooh, in your confessionals. That's not you. That's not your lane. Stick to your lane. That ain't it, honey. Sorry.
Yeah.
Like, just, no. Like, she was trying. She was like, because she said Dorit, and then she kept moving on, like, oh, catch that, clock that. And it's like, yeah, we heard it. It was kind of clever, but you could do better.
The other thing that was clever is that in the back of my head, I had to go, what did she call her?
Dorit?
Yeah, I was like, did she? What? She wouldn't have done that. Yeah. Like, no. I was like, clearly she has more sense than that. But then she goes on and says stupid shit about her wallet. But we'll pick that up later. Yeah. The good news, Boz and
Keely.
I was about to call him Leafy. I couldn't remember his name. Keely. Anyway, she had her house call We learned she has 4 eggs coming out of that one ovary, or 4 egg factories.
Farms.
Egg farms.
Houses.
Egg houses?
Houses. Egg houses.
Chicken huts. Chicken coops.
4 egg houses. Yes.
Yes. Chicken coops.
One, that's great. She can have a doctor come to her house.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, go to your bedroom. And I was like, oh, she's going to do the whole, ultrasound.
Why she didn't just do it on that couch where she apparently does everything else?
She's like, let's go to the bedroom because if you get like that jelly on the sheets, it'll be okay.
Yeah.
Not on the couch. Yeah, I like, real talk.
Mm-hmm.
The doctor's like, these are your chances. And, when Boz is saying like, I love this man, I want to have kids with him, she's not going to risk her life. She's not going to do anything like,
right.
Because she has her child who's still here that needs her. But the fact that she's like, I am going down this road and,
Mm-hmm.
gonna do my homework and talk to the doctor. And so, yeah, I hope, she can make that work. It's a scary thing, like for a lot of reasons.
Oh, for sure. That age as well. And then and what she said, like whether you're 19, you're 25 or 30 or 40, it's
she lost the baby at 32. Yeah.
It's still very scary. And pregnancy's, not a roll of the dice, but it's a risk no matter how old you are.
For sure. For sure.
Can I say, if Boz, her damn earrings, I'm so over her weird little
they
her
really
tassel
distract.
earrings. They do, and they're bushy, and they take up a lot of the frame.
Volume,
Yes.
Like, because she already has, like, the face is amazing. Love the hair this episode. And I don't need, like, the wacky earrings.
And they're always just the same style. Like, is it her own earring line? Is that what it is? Is she trying to, like, make those a thing the way Angie made big sunglasses a thing in Salt Lake?
She's...
We should look into that. Like,
maybe so.
Are these the Boz chandelier earring tassels? That's what they look like. They look like bushy chandeliers is what they look like. And
like tassels you would, yeah. I don't like them.
I will feel absolute crap if, someone points out, they're like, oh, those are, traditional heritage and whatnot. Because she does often wear them with like her brightly colored.
Oh, you're right.
They're always matching.
I bet they could be.
They could be. I'll apologize.
Yes. Okay.
But I'm just saying
that puts it in a different context.
But it's a lot of the same thing. Like mix it up a little bit.
Yes.
Like
she had a new confessional look.
I didn't see it because I was looking at my phone the one split second she was on with it.
No, that was Garcelle.
Oh, it was Garcelle. Yeah. You're right.
It was, that was a great look. Because Garcelle has the one silver dress look the entire season. Mm-hmm. It's really weird.
Until this one, which
she was busy producing. She couldn't do a lot of confessionals.
Right. Boz had the one with the gloves that you were like, oh no, not gloves.
Well, she didn't need the gloves because they weren't sewn into the dress. They're just like afterthought gloves. Like there was a lot going on with the lace and the draping of the dress. I didn't need the gloves too. I don't need any more gloves on Housewives shows.
I feel like all gloves are afterthought gloves.
Not if they're sewn in the dress, like Erica's done many a time.
Right. I still don't think Dorit's sewn in.
Yeah.
Teresa's done that too.
Oh God, yeah. Everyone's done it. Stop it. And stop wearing your ring over your glove like Miss Piggy. It's not a good look. Only Miss Piggy can do that. Like, it's just, what are you?
I'm wondering if we should ask Karen Huger if there's etiquette to where you wear your ring when you're wearing gloves. She's all into that etiquette.
I would say like Falcon Crest.
Not Falcon Crest. Fairmont Crest. We've been watching Beyond the Gates. The new daytime soap that debuted yesterday on CBS. I feel like this episode 2, I have a better idea who people are.
Oh, for sure.
There's still 12,000 of them.
So a cast of thousands. And I'm like, wait, why does she have 3 kids?
3 grown children.
Everyone's so grown. Why do the gays have like teenagers?
Yeah.
They better I don't know. So far, it's very interesting. Sorry, we're going to
tangent
for a bit because we want to support soaps. We are huge soap opera fans. And so the fact they're even doing a new soap, the fact that PG&E,
Procter & Gamble,
P&G, the one who cut off their soaps As the World Turns and Guiding Light back in the day, is back in the soap business is crazy. It's also co-produced by the NAACP. It's just, and it's by a lot of veteran soap writers are on it, and there's veteran soap actors like Tamara Tooney. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot to work with, and I think it's a little rough in the first episode because they're finding their footing, but I think there's a lot there's a lot of potential, and I'm excited to see more.
Yeah, no, I agree.
What do you think?
I think an hour long is still a lot of ask for people.
But when you have a cast of 1,000, you need an hour long.
Maybe you have a cast of 500 and you only do it a half an hour.
Like B&B.
Right.
Yeah.
I think also to ask people to commit an hour to a medium that is not necessarily
5 days a week.
Yeah, that's a lot.
But they're doing it with Y&R and GH and days.
Yeah.
So
that's why I was like, when we were watching the first episode, I was like, I'm curious to know what what the reports were that were like, yes, now is the time for
right.
soap
like
opera.
why now?
Like, it's definitely got to be like a cost benefit analysis of, well, they're cheaper to make than this type of show, or they're and they get they make more money for less effort, that sort of thing.
Well, it's funny because that was the whole thing when they canceled the soaps back in the day, and they replaced them with talk shows like The Talk.
Right.
That's way cheaper. So especially like towards the end when there are less celebrities on The Talk, as opposed to when it started.
But the ratings for those shows must be going down to the point where they're not getting as many ad dollars.
It's true. I mean, they canceled The Chew on ABC, that one that replaced All My Children. So
I just think a lot of those formats, maybe they were just overdone.
Yeah.
And so people are like, I don't really care to see a bunch of, celebrities sitting around a table telling me, what to think about the current events.
I think The View still works. I think the fact The View pivoted to like really focusing so hard on politics really took them in a different direction, and they could have died too, but they they became more relevant, and people like go on those shows, like I think to campaign or whatever.
Was The View the one Barbara Walters started?
Yes.
Okay, because I remember during the pandemic they were saying The View got different rules because it was still technically a news show.
Oh, it was, because I mean really it was like 5 points of view, and it was meant to be kind of like a Good Morning America, but like in a shorter format, where they would have like sit around and talk about today's issues and then like have guests and whatnot. Fun fact, reading the Connie Chung memoir, she was offered a position on The View and she decided not to do it, so she could have been on there.
No.
Yeah,
I would have liked Connie Chung on The View.
Yeah, she would have been great. Yeah,
honestly, like I didn't I wasn't. That's the thing is, like, I used to record soap operas. We both did when we were teenagers, growing up and everything. And we'd rush home to watch those. Yeah. But I just can't imagine anyone being like, I'm going to record The View and then rush home to watch it. Like, there's no real need to do that. So
I see like the clips on Instagram when something like big happens.
Yeah.
When they like talk, about something. Well, I can't imagine.
It does make me wonder, though, if maybe the current political climate might be like people don't necessarily want to see politics up on their TV all the time. Like
you need a variety.
Right.
Yeah.
So this is more entertainment and, escapism.
Yeah.
Which I think, might be good for a lot of people right now.
That's true. I was saying like at this, I can't imagine, like back in the day, I always had, 2 soaps that I was watching 5 days a week. I'm like, that's 10 hours with commercials.
Yeah.
Of your, like, how did I find the time?
I used to watch like 4 a week, like 4 different soaps 5 days a week. And I think those were like, I always had to choose one to fast forward, like,
right.
Because there's always one where like, I was like, oh, I'm kind of watching this.
Nothing's really going on right now. Yeah.
Right. You're waiting for something to happen. But yeah, basically I'd watch 3.5 every day.
Were you like Guiding Light?
It was Guiding Light, Another World, All My Children, and it was then Santa Barbara or As the World Turns.
Okay.
Vary between.
Okay.
I watched pretty much everything but General Hospital, One Life to Live, Young and the Restless, and Bold and Beautiful. Or Loving.
Oh, well,
or Passions. Who would watch that? I wouldn't watch those.
I was like All My Children, One Life to Live were like my 2 favorites. And then I would pick up soaps here and there, but never like consistently like those 2. So
I remember, Santa Barbara I watched, and then they announced that it was being canceled. So I'm like, well, I can't stop watching it. I have to watch it all the way to the very end.
I remember watching it at the end, like peeking on Santa Barbara, and then like going at the end because my sister watched it at some point. So
yeah, and then Santa Barbara, and I guess Another World was an NBC soap as well. So, yes. But then once those 2 were gone, then it was really just Days of Our Lives.
Well, Passions came.
Oh, right.
That got canceled.
And I never kind of, and I didn't like how popular Days of Our Lives was, so I just refused to like it. I was being the hipster of soap operas. Like,
I was like that with Grey's, actually. I was like, this is, like, everyone's saying, oh, you gotta watch Grey's. And I'm like, no, I don't. 1, I don't like medical shows, typically. And then 2, I was like, this is too popular with this McSteamy, McDreamy thing. I was like, nah.
Yeah.
Nah.
Well, so I don't don't get down with nighttime soaps.
Right.
I like
think
the idea
we were too young too. They
right.
Yeah.
I like the idea. The one thing that's great about soap operas is the story never ends.
Yes.
And like that, I think that's where can be really good storytelling, is that, you have to, people don't live happily ever after. So
right.
you have to find something for the newly married couple to do that keeps them interesting. And if you don't, then you write them off the show.
It's like
and you pivot to something else.
Conflict resolution, much like Housewives.
Right.
Bringing it back.
Well, and that's where I'm saying, like, the weekly soap operas and even weekly dramas that are serial, like Grey's can be, they're just kind of irritating because the story can end there.
Yes.
Like, they can just be like, what happened during the week we weren't watching, and they can skip ahead a bunch of stuff. Whereas
then the 3 months when it's on hiatus, and then it's like you can like totally like be like, oh my god, all this happened during the summer, let's flash back, but you don't have to actually like do that story for 3 months, as opposed to soaps where it's like you have to have a summer story,
right?
Because it never stops.
And the thing that like really was the downfall of soap operas, in my mind, is when as budgets started getting cut, they had to speed. They tried to speed things along. Like, one of the greatest thing about soaps was also that they could have a murder mystery last a year and a half, and you were like seriously like interested in watching for a year and a half just to find out what happened. But then when they're like, so and so got shot, what happened? And you find out 3 weeks later, and you're like, okay, that's not nearly exciting.
You have to like build and like take the viewer on this journey, and that you need good writing though.
Right.
Sometimes I think a lot of good writers left,
especially when the budget
cuts. Yeah, so
and
it's
then when they were working on handy cams, out in Central Park, and
you had too much input from the network.
Yeah.
So
but Beyond the Gates seems to be pretty good.
Yeah,
I'm liking it.
Yeah,
I'll wait to see. Yeah. I mean, if we get through the first week, I think that'll be a good. We're only 2 episodes in. I think it's a little too early to tell that we're gonna be like into it. But
yes,
I think
so.
Also, it's nice to have actually something to put on other than Housewives that you can just kind of like do some other stuff while it's
right,
kind of casually paid attention
or like
to.
House Hunters, or
right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So sorry, back to Beverly.
Yeah.
Going back to Callie.
So then we get basically to the lunch.
Well, Dorit plays basketball and apparently can't do it with nails.
It's a quick scene. Garcelle produces. Erica gets a bit of furniture.
Yeah. And then the lunch.
Yes. So,
I mean, just jumping right.
So Sutton came in. Well, she was hot in the car.
Yeah.
She was hot in the confessional. She was hot in the car. She was ready to fight. Kyle's like, oh, you are not to be messed with today.
What did she say that made Kyle and her friend laugh in the car?
She heard like Dorit in her like babysitter club. Like
I didn't get
a bunch of like. I didn't see a bunch of teenagers at Dorit's party, so I didn't understand that comment.
Yeah, it seemed like a really stupid comeback or insult. But the fact that they laughed at it, I was like, oh, okay, maybe there was something to it that I'm not aware of.
I think they're just like, what are you talking? Like, Kyle's like, she's on a tear. Mm-hmm. She hasn't even been drinking yet.
Or maybe she had been.
Right. She didn't have her roadie, but who knows what
she had before the road.
Pumped her up with before she got there.
Yeah.
But she came in ready to fight. Like, she sat down, like, Dorit mentioned the water. She's like, can I not have water, Dorit?
Yeah, but I mean, the stupid thing is that Sutton was purposely doing that to be noticed that she wasn't drinking, so she could say something about it. So she was definitely picking a fight.
She was picking a fight. And then she gets to it and she's like, okay, I've got bullet points. I'm going to tell you about yourself, Missy. And like, everyone was just like, because they kept doing like the quick like reaction shots, but I wonder if they were all thinking like, oh, frick.
Yeah.
Like, why is she doing this? And it was, as much as I think the Sluttons, her fans, are going to be like, ooh, she ate. She left no crumbs. I think she just embarrassed herself.
It was very embarrassing.
Like, when Erica said, what does money have to do with it? Like, to throw that, like, I think my wallet's bigger than hers. It's like, and even before that, actually, when she was in her confessional saying, like, Dorit aspires to a lifestyle as if Dorit is jealous of what Sutton has, which maybe of, like, certain things, but not everything. Like, she doesn't want to be Sutton. But then, then we get to the lunch and she's like, oh, my wallet's bigger or whatever. It's like, why are you bringing this up?
Yeah.
Do you think Dorit's picking at you because she's Dorit? Is that what you're trying to say? If that's what you're trying to say, just say it.
Right.
Like, are you saying like she shouldn't scrap with me because like, you know, I don't understand like what she's going with.
Yeah, and it's not like they've been having a pissing contest about who has more money, or that they've been trying to like
who wins is Kathy.
And apparently Tilly.
Yeah.
It's not like Sutton's been having a pissing contest with Dorit as far as who can be more fashionable or who can, you know, do this or who has more jewelry. It's not like that's ever been a thing.
Right.
And so for her to go there is just one, it seems out of place. And then two, I don't know that I always get the impression that a lot of people are just like, well, that's good and all, Sutton, that you have this money, but you didn't really earn that money. Like say what you will, there is something true about she was in a marriage that didn't end well. I mean, she did earn it to an extent.
Yes.
But it's not like the hundreds of millions of dollars that she has access to was something that she did or an idea she had that, you know, she has that by circumstance. So to sit there and throw that out and be like, you wish, and basically saying, you wish you had my money, it doesn't really connect right to me.
Here's my thing. I'm not, sorry.
No, you're good.
I'm not trying to take away from anything. I don't know what happened in that marriage, you know, like how he treated her, whatever. I'm not saying she's not deserving of the money that she got from Christian at all, you know, whatever. I am saying, though, and I'm not saying she hasn't earned money from her various businesses, whether that be the shop, her sheet line, her new designs that she's going to debut next week in that fashion show. I'm just saying the money that she got from him far outweighs the money that she's actually gotten on her own. So when Dorit made the point that, like, because you think you're big and bad because your husband dropped a pocketbook in your lap, that's... like, she's not a self-made woman. Right. I'm sorry. And she didn't come for money, as we saw when she went back to Augusta. So this idea of like, I have all this, it's like, but a lot of the millions were handed to you.
Right.
So I could see if it was someone like Boz, who is a self-made person,
right,
but doesn't throw it in people's faces like, I have all this. She's like, oh, look, I have a nice house, I like nice things. But she would never drop down to that level like, I have more than you, don't you wish you could be me?
And that's the thing, is that if there was some sort of undercurrent of Dorit's desperate for money or Dorit, it's not been communicated. Like, it doesn't seem like it's been a prevailing issue this season.
No, it's been an issue and talked about in the blogs and online and on social media. So it's like, that's where she's going. That's where Sutton's going.
Yeah.
Which is like, if you don't establish it on the show, it comes out of nowhere.
Right.
And you look like you just read a blog and that's where you're picking on this. And it's low-hanging fruit to be like, oh, you're poor. You know, that we've all heard these stories about how Dorit lives beyond her means and like the house is being foreclosed on and it's all a facade. And like she, you know, the Bentley that PK gave her, like we never saw it after he gifted it to her for her birthday, whatever, you know, but like it hasn't been talked about on the show. So this is a really like wonky way of bringing it to the show.
Right. And it just seems like you're really just picking on her.
Yes.
And not actually, you don't have an actual gotcha because you're just saying the easiest thing.
If she had stopped it, like you were insinuating that I have a drinking problem and that is effed up, then I would be like, yes, you, like, she definitely did. She doubled down on it at the reunion, never fully apologized. So yes, that is your case. Stick with your case. When you start picking on her and going petty and low, then you've lost the plot because you've lost the higher ground. And it's like, you've got to come down on your high horse and now you're in the mud and you're just regurgitating shit that you heard online. Like, don't bring a Twitter fight into this fight when there's no like cause for being in the fight. Also, ma'am, your fine Southern manners should dictate you do not talk about money in this way. It is gauche, it is tacky, it is classless. Your mother would have something to say about this. Reba would be like, what are you doing? Like, and the fact that she's like, I'm not going to apologize for it. I'll say it again. It's like, well, you look doubly tacky.
Yeah.
Like,
I can't. And when she said, like, I'm not going to regret this, I'm like, I'm pretty sure.
I'm sure you will
regret it. I think there's going to be some bad press about it.
But I think, though, it's so, I wonder which way I don't care which way Twitter goes or which way Reddit goes, because I'm sure again a lot of her fans will be like, "Oh, that was so great," but others will be like, "She sucks."
They're the same fans though that don't understand the whole wealth whispers situation. Like if you
they're
really
the same fans who like rooted for Dorit like eviscerating Kyle,
right.
Which, by the way, when Dorit said I can eviscerate her, I'd be like, do it. Do it. Like, she just sat there and took it. I'd be like, no.
Yeah, I don't understand why Dorit came so hard at the 4th of July party and was like, and then didn't come equally as hard here. And if the only reason was that they were at Jennifer Tilly's event, and I can see that being part of it, especially with the other non-housewives there.
Yeah.
Maybe Dorit didn't want to embarrass Tilly, but Sutton already started. Sutton already started that lawnmower and let it run without anyone behind the wheel. So I think Dorit should have just been gone any
like
further.
You want to fight? I'll give you a fight because I think Dorit could take her.
Right.
Like also when she was naming things, you could tell she had bullet points in her head, and she was like, "I'm going to talk about this and this and this and Missy." It's like,
What was the damn thing she repeated again? I do not like Sutton repeating her catch line.
Like I said 5 years ago, let the mouse go. It's like.
Yeah, there was something else she kept repeating to Dorit and the whole group.
When Dorit was like, "Are you done?" and she's like, "I'm." And
yeah, it was something around there. But
not like I'm done, but like she was like, I don't know.
We're gonna see enough memes of it, I'm sure. Yeah. It's gonna be another, slogan fest.
It was exhausting. It was so tacky and embarrassing.
Yeah, and it really just reeks of insecurity. Like it's like if you really have the better life, you don't need to be throwing it in people's faces.
Exactly. And also being rich doesn't make you interesting. Like, I know this is supposed to be an aspirational show, or it's supposed to be like, oh my God, this is so great, and they have all this money. For me, the wealth and like the clothes and whatever, that's a great backdrop. But you need to like actually bring story to make it interesting.
Substance.
Yes.
Yeah. I did like that Dorit said, what did all that money get you? A horse instead of a man.
That was good.
As low and petty as that is, I do love it. What I don't like is that she started talking, when she's on her meds, let me know. That's Whereas, bringing the mental health into it.
Don't bring that. Don't go there.
If you're going to insinuate she's imbalanced, do it without actually evoking the name of mental health.
Right. Like, especially, a certain bit about her father.
Yeah.
Not all the details, but he committed suicide.
And that's really, really, really...
Yeah.
I guess I'm saying...
Kyle trying to swing that home, too. Basically, when she said that, I now going to Augusta, I see why Sutton might be triggered by comments about her drinking based on what happened with her father.
Right.
So,
right.
She tried to do her a solid there.
Yeah. No, I agree with that.
Kyle's much better friend to Sutton. For sure.
I did also, and they gave a little more context as well, that I thought that's what I heard them saying that Sutton's father was on Alzheimer's medication at the time that this all happened. So
dementia.
Dementia. And so that I'm sure combined with drinking and whatever, and, just general thoughts of self-harm probably makes it worse.
Right.
But, again, all that, about her father notwithstanding, I just don't think, go ahead and say that Sutton's wackadoo or, kooky or something, but sit there and be like, she's got an actual mental thing.
Right. Like, don't talk about medication. Just say, this behavior, it doesn't have to be crazy. It's just, this behavior sucks.
Yeah.
Like, it's mean-spirited. When Sutton was like, she's so mean, it's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And I was really annoyed that nobody at the table, said it. I think Bose didn't want to say it because she'd already been accused of being Dorit's mouthpiece.
But even Garcelle was just like, no.
Yeah, but not really. Maybe they cut some stuff out, but everyone was saying it off, in a confessional or.
No, and Erica was like, "What's the money have to do with it?" And then,
but she didn't really go hard on that.
No, that's true.
I would have been like, "This is not what we do." If you were a true rich, wealthy lady, that's why Kathy was staying quiet, because she's like, I have more money than all of you, but I'm not going to say it because what does that get me?
Yeah, but is that really her money, or is that Rick Hilton's money? No, I'm kidding. It's more than we have.
True.
Yeah.
True.
No, this whole idea of who has more money is such a dumb pissing contest.
It's really
just I don't know. I would much rather have no money and be happy with the life that I have than being, a slave to the money, and being constantly beholden to, the status and everything. And even if you're into that sort of thing, like they clearly are, it's like, so what? Like, how many dresses or bags are you going to need to buy before you're happy?
Right. And also, like, Dorit, I don't know how much money she has. Obviously, I guess it's less than Sutton, but she's bringing more of this to this season than Sutton.
Yeah.
In terms of story. So, I mean.
And also, with what Dorit's going through, like, I'm not usually, sympathetic to this degree, but, like, you're kind of kicking her when she's down.
You're kicking her when she's down. It's low hanging fruit.
Yeah.
Like, find something better.
But on the flip side, Dorit was being a little, messy herself.
No, neither one of them are looking great in this situation.
Like, I mean, I thought it was kind of funny when, could she apologize? It's like,
but she's like, Sutton,
yeah. Like, no, ma'am, I don't believe that for a minute.
Well, and Kyle's saying, like, is there something you could do? Like, Kyle, shh.
Yeah.
There's nothing that anyone...
Well, then Kyle almost got brought into it as well.
Yeah, and I was like, wait.
Even Dorit was started to, you weren't defending me game, which I'm glad.
I thought that she would do that. Like,
she started to.
Right.
But did not go that far.
But no one was really stepping in. Like, I really thought that Bose would say something, and I'm glad just that she didn't. I think Bose was like, this looks really bad already. Mm-hmm. I don't need to, say anything because she's digging her own grave.
And then what was the, I don't...
Oh, Faye?
Yeah, I don't know what the final point or the outcome of morally corrupt Faye Resnick saying what she said. Like, I know it was supposed to be some sort of levity, but at one point it was almost like supporting Sutton.
But not. Faye was saying, like, let's not call people out on their stuff. Let's let people live. Let's not label anybody. I'm not going to say it about the morally corrupt Faye Resnick. Yeah.
She seemed to be defending Sutton, but at the same time, like, trying to admonish her for doing that.
I think, yeah, it was really confusing.
It was so middle walking the fence.
It was.
I was just like, why did she even say anything?
It was basically like, can't we all just get along?
Yeah.
Really, that's what she was trying to say.
And then eat our $2,000 baked potato.
I mean, I love a baked potato, but, like, come on.
I've had caviar.
I've never had caviar.
I might have only had the red caviar that looks like, that they put on sushi, but no.
Are you poor Scott?
I am poor Scott. I don't have as much money as Sutton.
Yeah.
No, I think I've had some black caviar. I don't know where I would have had it though. Oh, you know what? I probably had an Oracle event when I went for work.
I was there. It was probably like a work event. Yeah.
It was a work event.
Right.
Oh, I think we might have had some caviar at one of our work events too. But yeah, when I went to a micros convention.
Was it like an option to have at the wedding?
Oh, for us?
Yeah, like we could have chosen that maybe. Or am I wrong?
Oh, it might have been if we got that big old seafood one, but we aren't big seafood people.
No.
So we would have had to have like 4 different types of fish and some caviar.
Right.
And I don't need that.
It was funny how you brought up the Pringles, and I'm like, who did that? And I'm like, I completely forgot that was Aaron last season.
See,
in New York.
I would be all right having a little bit of caviar on some Pringles.
Yeah.
Pringles, 1, are delicious.
Pringles are great.
And then 2, I think that I don't even know what caviar tastes like. Like, if you were to ask Google, what does caviar taste like? But
maybe
salty is what
salty. I would think salty,
like olivey, I guess.
It looks a little, like briny and like very the texture.
That's my other problem. Is I don't really like, especially when they show the big old thick eggs. Like, I don't want little fish eggs bursting in my mouth. Like, I don't want this to be like Pop Rocks, but with fish.
Rocks, but with fish. Also, like, there was a big infomercial for that caviar or Caspia whatever place.
Oh yeah.
Like, oh my god, everyone goes there, and I'm like, I've never heard of this place.
Well, I mean,
you're not rich enough.
We're not looking for caviar or baked potatoes on a regular basis.
Yes.
So it was very pretty. I like the atmosphere.
Oh, it was super pretty party. Yeah, like I wonder, how Jennifer Tilly felt about her party being like, she had to know this could have happened. Yeah. Someone probably gave her a heads up, like, I'm coming in hot.
Yeah. I think, though, Sutton's got a... That's the thing, is, like, I don't want to give Dorit the satisfaction of, Sutton doth protest too much, but, like, Sutton really is going off about her whole being accused of alcoholism. Which was so last year. I think if she hadn't brought it up again, no one would be bringing it. I mean,
She brought it up many times. Remember, she brought it up at BravoCon.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she's deeply offended by this.
I don't know. Like, just don't worry about it. Like, again, if you're not an alcoholic, you don't have a problem.
Yeah,
you're fine.
Again, we're not saying that there's any sort of problem like with her mental health or her alcohol intake. That is all on her. I am saying, though, you know, we invite a bit of a conversation when you travel with your little, you know,
with
your roadie.
With a flask inside your purse.
Yeah, or like your ocean spray.
Right.
And like you, or, you know, but production does her no favors either by always pointing out that she has like, it's like ding, an arrow pointing to like her.
Right.
You know?
Well, at this, okay, so it's the same thing. Like, you know, there's the whole joke that, you know, there's no, at the airport, it's never too early to get a drink.
Right.
Like you're on vacation, get a drink.
Right.
So it's like there's some people who feel guilty about that or feel like, oh, I shouldn't. You know, it's 10 a.m. But there's other people like me who would be like, it's 10 a.m. on vacation. I'm having a beer. I'm having a cocktail. I don't care. Like so what? That's what Faye said. She was like, I drink as much as you do.
Right.
Like,
right.
To quote Lisa Rinna, just own it. If you just owned it and said, yeah, I have some drinks, and it's, you know, and didn't say it defensively. It wasn't like all the time, like, I had a few drinks, so sue me, you know.
But here's the thing. It's like Sutton is not consistent. It's like you know, whatever. I'm getting loose. I'm having just some drinks. Oh, I'm offended by that. Or I'm a highfalutin like lady on the ballet.
I say, what would the ballet think about?
Yeah.
About the ballet. Way she came for Dorit.
The ballet probably doesn't have a high opinion of her. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I think you're right. The consistency is the problem. I think if Sutton were to just be consistent, we could get behind her a little bit more.
I think it depends on what blog she read that day.
You think it really comes down to that?
I'm being a little snarky with that. I do think that she is ruled very much so by social media and like what people are saying, and she trying to be on the right side of history with things. So it's just, you know, going like when they did the flashback to her saying like, I'm going to be there for you, girl, to Dorit, I'm going to support you, I'll be in the room with you. It's not real.
Yeah, it's laughable. When I heard it again, I guffawed.
Yeah, it's not real. Like, you never intended that. Like, you just say, I don't like the lady.
Yeah.
You know? So yeah. So no one's really in the right here, but for this episode,
Sutton was tacky as hell.
So tacky.
For do that. Like,
so tacky.
Yeah.
Ricky Ticky Tacky.
Yeah, I just don't, again, the whole wealth whispers thing, like, even if it's true and even if you want to scream it from every part of your body that Dorit is a thirsty, you know, money grubbing wannabe.
Yeah.
You can go ahead and say that, but you never say, I have more money than you.
Right. It should just be self-evident that Dorit is that what you think she is.
And maybe if you're going to say that, you don't do it in a room full of people. You maybe do it one on one.
That's what it means
maybe
more.
1-on-2.
Yes.
Like if Kyle had been there or like Erica, fine. But not the whole room of
there
people.
Were like 20 people there or whatever at that table. And it's like you were trying to embarrass her, like you felt that she has embarrassed you on TV by talking about your drinking. And it comes off very malicious.
Yeah, we can't be the only one.
You lose the high ground.
Yeah, we can't be the only ones who think this is a tacky move on her behalf. And like, yeah, I mean, can you imagine being any of those other women and being like, oh, then Sutton, it's like, I have more money than you.
But also it's so awkward. It's like, they were like, you know, I'm just trying to have my baked potato, and this woman is talking about like her wallet.
I'm wondering how well the potatoes are baked. I know they're twice baked. But I don't know, sometimes you get a hard potato.
I love a potato.
I've never been a baked potato fan, and I think mainly because my mom, I think growing up, sometimes she just didn't want to mash potatoes, so she would just like wrap them in foil and throw them in the oven, and like, oh, we got potatoes, and I'm like, that's not potato. I got to deal with the skin on this thing, and I gotta pry the damn thing open, put some butter in there, and then like hope it melts right, and I gotta dig it out with my fork, and the damn thing's too hot.
You're basically mashing the potato in the foil. I used to really enjoy it. I haven't had a big potato in quite some time.
Well, you're not about to have one, but let me tell you. No.
But I would just like do it like, you know, I would microwave it, and then like, you know, you like you press it in and pull it out, and then you dump in a bunch of butter. And yeah, sometimes it can be like, you know, a little lumpy, or like it's too firm and you're like, it's not really enjoyable.
I'm fairly certain if we go to my brother's house, on the side of the microwave, the microwave over the stove, there's this little 3-pronged like microwave carriage thing that was meant for sticking potatoes in.
Oh.
And so you could microwave 3 potatoes and they would stand up. And my mom, I swear to God, she used that thing all the damn time.
Really?
Yeah, I think I just memory unlocked. I hate baked potatoes.
So did she do that and then like put it in foil afterwards, or you just like?
No, so when she found the microwave thing existed, I think she got it on QVC or something.
Right.
Knowing her, she was like, "Oh, I can have mashed potatoes. I can have baked potatoes all the time." But like growing up before that, before microwaves were really ubiquitous, she'd foil in the oven and we got potatoes.
See, my thing, I would put it in the microwave and then I would put it in the foil. So it's like,
really?
Yeah. So then you can like, so because you have to like put it.
You really worked for that potato. Again, just
because it's so hot. So like the foil is a little bit of a barrier while you're trying to prepare your potato.
As we've learned, it's not difficult to make mashed potatoes. Just peel that bastard, mash the damn thing.
It's true. It's true.
So, I mean, there are times in like a barbecue, maybe have a mashed potato or a baked potato. That's fine because you can put that on the grill and that's cool. But
now I don't have a baked potato.
I'm really not. The only time, and it was one of my Facebook memories, is in France. It was in Amsterdam, I think.
Mm-hmm.
There was a baked potatoery that I remember. Ben and Esther and I went and ate. We were very drunk, and I could not comprehend. I couldn't give the right amount of change in euros, and I really got confused. But then I was like, I'm gonna eat this potato. But that's also where it's a giant potato covered in sauce, and like that was like the restaurant was a mashed potato or a.
See, my thing is like I only put in butter, like all this like sour cream and chives.
Well, you don't like sour cream?
Yeah, I don't like sour cream.
Yeah,
no.
But sour cream and cheese. No, this had like sauce on it. Like you had like dressings and different flavors.
That's a whole different. That's like you're really getting beyond the baked potato.
Yeah, yeah. That was definitely like a shtick that they had, but it was delicious. I'll show you the pictures when we're done.
Okay.
But yeah. How do we get on potato? Oh, the caviar.
The caviar bar. Yeah. I would be like, can you take that Can I get a potato without the caviar? I would so be that. I would be that person.
He's the one that we'll get pancakes, and it's like this a whole pancakery, and they have like every pancake known to mankind. He's like, can I just get plain pancakes?
Yes, plain buttermilk pancakes. I don't need blueberries. I don't need strawberries on it. As much as I love sweets, I do not need chocolate chips in it because that's too sweet.
I agree with that. I don't necessarily need all that stuff either.
God forbid you put a freaking banana anywhere near my pancake.
Well, I don't want a banana in general near my food.
Yeah.
But sometimes the fun of pancakes and waffles and stuff is like the garnish they put on it. And you're like, none of that stuff. You don't even want butter on your waffles.
It makes it too buttery. Make it with butter, but I don't want butter on it. All I want is syrup. That's all you need.
All you need is syrup.
Plain maple syrup, not boysenberry or boysenberry or whatever berry. Just gross. Just gross.
I love you so much.
Me too.
All right, so
we've gone all over the place this episode.
I was happy to see Morley Corrupt Faye resonate, mainly so I could say.
Yeah.
I like it. I like that she just appears randomly for different things.
I love that Kathy brought her.
Right. And I think she must definitely run in their circle in general.
Oh, she's one of Kyle's best friends.
Yeah. And on top of that, like Jennifer Tilly was like, oh, hey, Faye. And like, it was like, hey, I've seen you places.
Right.
So, no.
I love Faye. Like, Jennifer, you were nominated for an Oscar.
Yeah, well, that was weird.
It was so weird.
They must have been mentioning it earlier.
Yeah.
We learned that she's half Chinese.
Never knew. We learned that they didn't know that Cher was Armenian and not half-breed, which is something you shouldn't say.
Who said that?
Jennifer Tilly was like, we always wanted to be Cher because she was like, half-breed. She had that song Half-Breed and she's half native. And Erica's like, she's Armenian from the Valley, which I know because I read Cher's memoir, part 1, recently.
God, you're just full up on memoirs. You had Connie Chung, Cher's, you read Barbara Streisand's.
I love a good memoir.
You really do.
It's true.
We're learning so much today.
Facts.
Well, this was a good episode. Next week, what did we get previews of?
Sutton's fashion show.
Oh, where Kathy gets out of the way. Is that really the takeaways for next week?
I'm sure, because Dorit's fashion show, surely she and Sutton have some sort of sit down.
Yeah.
All
right.
So.
Well, then we'll get to see that next week, and we'll talk about it next time.
Till next time.